true love, we welcome you.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, there we go. Now it's on. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kevin McCluney, and I'll be presenting today's service along with Colleen Fitzgerald. Lisa, Tina, and Steve are providing technical assistance. Thank you to our greeters and music assistant, Sophia, for their contributions to today's service. Please be aware we are recording this service and it will be posted on our YouTube page. For privacy, we do not record or post joys and concerns. Here at Maumee Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation, our goal is to provide a welcoming space for people to come together to experience religious freedom, find a community, grow spiritually, and explore ways to make a difference in the lives of others. We seek inspiration and meaning from a great many faith traditions and philosophies. We support each other's lifelong spiritual journey, and we encourage work for justice and peace. We value open minds and loving hearts. Here may our minds stretch, our hearts open, and our spirits deepen. For those who are new, we encourage you to attend several services to gain a good understanding of who we are. For further news, please remember to read our weekly email, which provides comprehensive information about everything going on at MVUUC. Visitors, if you'd like to start receiving our weekly email, make sure to fill out one of the blue cards found in the seat back pockets and put the card in the box on the greeters table. Please take a moment to greet your neighbors. Hey, good morning. Maybe a second time. There we go. That you can hear. I love it. Very talkative this morning. Wonderful. Okay, what's new, right? Okay. The chalice will be lit today by Lynn Wineland. Please join me in reading the words provided for you as we light the chalice. Come in from the margins, come into our circle. Here we stretch wide a doorway of belonging. No need to polish your edges or hush your truth. We gather not in sameness, but in shared seeking. Take a breath, set down what you carry. You are welcome wholly and wildly in this place. We light this chalice in worship. We illuminate a world that we feel called upon to serve with love and a sense of justice. It is our fire of commitment. Now is the time for sharing of joys and concerns. Tina, please stop the recording at this time. Please join us in singing of hymn number 360. Here we have gathered. Please stand as you're willing and able.
Here we have gathered side by side, circle of kinship, come and step inside. have gathered, called to celebrate days of our lifetime, matter small and great. We of all ages, joining heart and hand, infants and sages, sharing what we can, sing now together this our heart's own song. Life has its battles, sorrows and regret, but in the shadows, let us not forget. We who now gather know each other's pain. Kindness can heal us as we give, we gain. Sing now in friendship this our heart's own song.
The opening words today come from a poem by Rod Richards titled, "It is All Very Well." The poem will be followed by a few moments of silence for private contemplation. When the bowl is struck, it will signal the end of this meditative silence. It is all very well to speak of an interdependent web of all life and remind us that we are all connected. We are. But there are times when the loneliness strikes so deeply that the only thing of which I am certain is that I am a solitary being. There are times when the only piece of belonging I can feel is the longing. There are times when the interdependent web feels like just a mess of cobwebs in a basement or an attic of the abandoned house where I live. Times when the spirit of life and love are just words written in invisible ink on a postcard to myself. Wish you were here. Be with me now. Don't try and talk me out of how I feel with perfect theology. Stay beside me and carry my hope until I am ready to hold it again and be there for you. This morning's reflection is by the Reverend Dr. Sandra Fees, entitled Loneliness as a Doorway to Belonging. Reverend Fees writes, "The last time I lived alone followed the ending of a romantic relationship. I was sometimes grateful to be alone and sometimes quite lonely. There were times I would go to a bookstore or a poetry event or some public space just to be around other people. I did this to remind myself that I am part of a larger human community. Also, so that I wouldn't be alone in my house and with the hope of a casual exchange with someone else. But sometimes being in public spaces with other people made things even worse. I didn't always end up having a warm encounter with another person. And there were occasions when everyone else seemed to be paired up or with friends. In those instances, the sense of loneliness was magnified. The loneliness I felt wasn't because I didn't have any friends, family, or community. It was because the most intimate relationship in my life had dissolved. I felt alienated from someone I had loved and who had loved me, someone with whom I had spent nearly 20 years. When a relationship like that comes to an end, there is certainly grief, maybe depression, and even anger. There is also a feeling of isolation, a sense that my safety net, my buffer, had dissolved. The consequences of loneliness are physical as well as emotional. In her memoir, The Lonely City, Olivia Lang offers a poignant description of being lonely. She says, "What does it feel like to be lonely? It feels like being hungry when everyone around you is readying for a feast. It feels shameful and alarming, and over time, these feelings radiate outwards, making the lonely person increasingly isolated, increasingly estranged. It hurts in the way that feelings do, and it also has physical consequences that take place invisibly inside the closed compartments of the body. It advances, is what I'm trying to say, cold as ice and clear as glass, enclosing and engulfing." Loneliness is often accompanied by fear, worry, uncertainty, and anxiety. After the breakup, I struggled with feelings of being unwanted and unloved, with thoughts that I might be unable to risk loving again. I worried that I would be forever single and felt a sense of failure and shame. I feared I might always feel this way. It seemed that no one else could possibly understand what I was feeling. But of course, that's not true. Everyone has experienced loneliness. It's part of being human. Loneliness can happen for so many reasons. It can arise for those who work at home, away from other people. When you change schools or jobs or geographic location, you may feel a sense of isolation. Living alone, combined with a lack of meaningful connections, can lead to profound loneliness. Now, consider how modern society conspires to keep us isolated. A variety of researchers have explored the ways that our contemporary schedules have taken a toll on our relationships and sense of connection. Not only are we busy, but our schedules are becoming increasingly unpredictable. A large percentage of hourly wage workers in the United States have fluctuating schedules, sometimes being required to work weekend and holiday hours. They often have required overtime or schedules that are subject to change without notice. For salaried workers, scheduling may be more predictable, but studies reveal that a majority of managers and professionals work more than 50 hours a week, even in excess of 65 hours a week. Beyond that, most professionals monitor their work outside of these hours. That part of the reflection cites Judith Shulevitz in her piece, "Why You Never See Your Friends Anymore." Dr. Fees continues, "Family life and social life suffer under these conditions. When these social bonds are neglected, our sense of community diminishes. Loneliness can be the result." Paradoxically, the experience of loneliness can also become a doorway back to connection. It can offer a path to what we most want and need. The experience of loneliness or isolation can provide a deeper understanding of our need for intimacy and shared life. It can remind us of our vulnerability and drive us to reach out for others. Loneliness can serve as a call to courage and greater consciousness. Writer and poet David White says, "Loneliness is the substrate and foundation of belonging that draws us home, the hand reaching out for togetherness. Loneliness is the body attempting to become proximate and even join with other bodies through physical touch, through conversation, through the mediation of the intellect and the imagination. Being alone allows us to find the healing power in the other. The shortest line in the briefest email can heal, embolden, welcome home, and enliven the most isolated identity. Human beings are made to belong. The doorway is closer than we think. I feel alone, therefore I belong." The story of Ruth and Naomi in the Hebrew scriptures is a wonderful example of the healing power of the hand reaching out for togetherness. For Ruth and Naomi, this healing power comes after great loss and grief. Naomi is from Bethlehem and Ruth is from Moab. Naomi and her family have traveled to Moab to escape famine. There, Ruth marries Naomi's son. Both Ruth's and Naomi's husbands die. The two women are left to figure out their own survival. Naomi learns that the famine has ended. She decides to return home. Her two daughters-in-law, Orpah and Ruth, accompany Naomi. But it isn't long before Naomi urges them to stay in their homeland. She believes this is where they will have a future. After much persuasion, Orpah decides to stay, but Ruth refuses. Adamantly, she pledges to Naomi, "Where you go, I will go. Your people shall be my people." Ruth's loyalty is touching. The two women had been through a shared loss. Ruth seems to recognize the power of seeking comfort in this shared grief. She sees this as a pathway to renewal, to her future. Her determination to go where Naomi goes is a declaration against loneliness, against isolation. It is an affirmation that human beings are made to belong. Ruth's decision shows us that even after great loss, the choice to belong remains open to us. We can find a way to drive out our loneliness. On the brink of graduating from Yale, young playwright Marina Keegan wrote a beautiful essay entitled "The Opposite of Loneliness." Keegan described her experience at Yale of finding a community she labeled the opposite of loneliness. She said, "We don't have a word for the opposite of loneliness, but if we did, I could say that's what I want in life. It's not quite love, and it's not quite community. It's just this feeling that there are people, an abundance of people, who are in this together, who are on your team. When the check is paid and you stay at the table, when it's 4 a.m. and no one goes to bed, that night with the guitar, that night we can't remember. That time we did, we went, we saw, we laughed, we felt." She was worried about losing that feeling after leaving college. Even so, she believed it was possible to hold on to that sense of the opposite of loneliness and to make something positive happen in the world. She ended the essay by declaring to her 2012 class, "We're in this together. Let's make something happen in the world." Marina Keegan died 5 days after graduation. She was killed in a car crash at 22 years old. She never had a chance to pursue the challenge she set in her essay. However, her words found their way into the world, inspiring millions of people who also want to discover the opposite of loneliness. What Keegan describes is something I want in life too. I want it for everyone. I call that something connection. I call it belonging. Keegan said, "It's a feeling that there are people, an abundance of people, who are in this together, who are on your team." Doesn't that sound like belonging? Belonging as a verb rather than a noun, a practice, a choice, a declaration that we are in this together. When I chose belonging amidst my time of loneliness, it didn't happen overnight. It wasn't a steady upward trajectory. It took conscious decisions, purposeful actions, and repetition. Over time, those choices to be in community and to reach out my hands for togetherness moved me through the doorway. Once again, I knew that I belonged. My hope for each of you is that in those times of loneliness, you encounter others, even just one other, who offer a warm welcome, however brief. May you find a conversation that inspires you. May you discover there are people on your team. May you have someone to whom you can declare, "Where you go, I will go, beloved." May you have someone who declares to you, "Where you go, I will go, beloved." My hope for us is that in this spiritual community, we offer that to one another. May it be so. Blessed be.
In a few weeks, we are fortunate to have Drew Dworsky from BGSU speaking to us about this topic of loneliness. He is the director of Psychological Services Center at the university. We thought it might be helpful to issue index cards during this service and next. Hopefully we've got some somewhere being handed out on the podium. Yes, here we go. Where are we? Yeah, send out these index cards to help us frame our thinking about what it means. I'm sorry. Yes, and got wrong spot. To invite congregants to ask questions they'd like Dr. Dworsky. So basically write down a question that you'd like Dr. Dworsky to discuss when he's here. So he will give him these questions ahead of time so he can think about them a little bit. So this is not meant to replace professional therapy, but rather to help us frame our thinking about what it means to be alone, to belong, and to be lonely within our lives and across the communities we participate in. So we'll pause now to give you a few moments of quiet contemplation and a chance to write down questions that pertain to this topic. They can be personal, they can be specific, or they can be general, they can be anonymous. If you want to put your name, you can. It's whatever you wish to do. We'll collect these to deliver to Dr. Dworsky to help him tailor his presentation. So let's go ahead and take a few minutes to reflect. When you're done with those, we'll drop them into the basket at the Zoom table and on your way out. Now let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this church, which is important to so many of us. We gratefully dedicate this offering to the good of the church, the wider community, and the world. If you make automatic pledge payments, please place one of the yellow cards indicating the support in the basket. If you want today's contribution to count toward your annual pledge, please put it in an envelope with your name on the front so that we know who to credit it to.
Our closing words today are from our Soul Matters source material. This quote is attributed to an unnamed blogger. George Orwell once said, "The most terrible loneliness is not the kind that comes from being alone, but the kind that comes from being misunderstood." It's the kind of loneliness that doesn't come from silence, but from the overwhelming noise of a world that doesn't truly hear you. You feel like the truest parts of yourself, the raw, unpolished, and beautifully complex pieces of who you are, go unnoticed, misunderstood, or even ignored. This is a different kind of ache, one that lives deep in the soul. It's not about missing someone's presence, but about missing connection, longing for the kind of bond that allows you to feel truly seen. It's not the absence of love, but the absence of recognition, of being known for all that you are, without needing to filter or edit yourself to fit into someone else's understanding.
Now it's time for extinguishing the chalice. Let us carry the flame of the chalice into the world, serving others with love and sense of justice. Join me in reading the words provided as we extinguish the chalice. The way is often hard. Take courage, for deep down there is another truth. You are not alone. Before our closing song, we have time for a few brief announcements. Come to the podium if you have one to make.
All right, for all of you goofballs who don't read our weekly newsletter,
We have a new mailing address. Our name of our congregation, Maumee Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Post Office Box 744, Bowling Green, Ohio 43402. And hopefully we'll get mail there. Thank you.
It's in the newsletter. So this address is in the newsletter. It's on the website now along the bottom, and then there's a contact page that I think needs to be updated or has been. Okay. So we have a physical address, of course, right here, and a mailing address. And what triggered that was that one day the door was a little left ajar on the mailbox, and it was raining. Everything inside was soggy. So it got us talking about, you know, safety and damage and things like that. So we decided to get, for the checks especially, a P.O. box at the Bowling Green post office. And Buffy picks up the mail and brings it here to the church. So this is good. Yes, thank you, Buffy, for doing that for us. So the other announcement I have is if you are on a committee, or if you're interested in what the committees are working on, or if you're interested in maybe serving on a committee, please join us after the service at the table nearest the hot water pot. I'm going to grab that last table. We can always put the last two tables together, and the board members will be there, and we're just going to touch base on everything that's going on and hear what's going on with the committees and answer any questions and, you know, that kind of thing. So see you there.
So I have a new book coming out. Thank you. It is The Legend of Jamie Roberts, Volume 3. Pre-orders for the new book will be coming out this Tuesday and running until November 13th. Volumes 1 and 2 are also available. If you would like to know more about that, reach out to me after service. I will talk your ear off about this comic. Thank you.
The meditation group continues on. We meet on Wednesdays from 6 to 7, maybe a little talk afterwards. And this Wednesday, we are going to investigate meditation in motion and also the fire meditations. So we're working through the elements this month, and we'll go through the end of October, and then we'll decide what to do. Thank you.
Hello. So Anne and I spent some time in the vegetable garden yesterday, cleaning it up and starting to get it ready for winter. But our tomato plants are doing surprisingly well. They are still producing, which is honestly, that is a pretty major miracle considering how little rain we've had this summer. But thank you to Anne and to Laura for watering the garden. Anyway, since we're starting to think about putting the garden to bed for the winter, I'm going to put out my annual request for leaves. So if you have trees that are shedding leaves currently, maybe gather some up and bring some here. You can just drop them inside the garden fence, and we will spread them on the garden beds to kind of moisturize and nutrify the soil, if those are words. And it's free, right? It's free compost basically. So feel free to just drop your leaves in that garden area. Also, Anne and I were talking as we were working, and she mentioned that she was really interested in reading Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And I know a number of us have either read that book or are interested in that book. And we've had this intersectional reading group going for a while, and we had chosen Hijabi Butch Blues as our next book, but I haven't heard from anybody about joining that group for that book, and that doesn't mean we won't read that book in the future, but if there is interest in getting a reading group together for Braiding Sweetgrass, please email me or talk to me. My email is just meganranciere@gmail.com. Of course, there are also, as you would know if you read your newsletter, there are a lot of public events in Bowling Green surrounding Braiding Sweetgrass because Robin Wall-Kimmerer is visiting BGSU in March of 2026. Yeah, I'm very excited. So there's a couple different ways we can go. We can attend these public events as a group. We can have our own reading group. Sorry, Sophia? Yeah, there have been some events already and there will continue to be. So lots of possibilities here. So I'm really interested to hear what people think. Thank you.
Morning. If you haven't already voted, we are still taking votes for the t-shirts. We have samples of the colors and sizes out, or some of the sizes out for us to kind of get a feel for. So again, fill out the form and hand it in or do it online, and hopefully we'll have a decision next week.
Fellowship will meet quickly out as part of our committee Sunday. We really like this idea, so if you want to join us for that, and yes, stay tuned for Braiding Sweetgrass related fellowship. These events that Megan mentioned that you can find in the newsletter, I placed some bookmarks out near the greeting table. If you just want to grab one of those, it has like a rundown of all of those same events, but also just read the newsletter. And I also just want to put a plug in for, if you're not following us on socials, to please get out your phone, and you can like us on Facebook. It's Maumee Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation, and on Instagram you can search for MVUC BG. It kind of just gasses us up when we get our likes to keep actually posting content. So you can find out about fellowship events from the Instagram or the bulletin board, so you can find out about things like the meditation that Anne mentioned. So I think that was everything. All right. Oh, and there's a game night coming. There's always a game night coming. So the next one's October 24th. So just to give you a little bit of advance notice, it's on a Friday at 7, a week before Halloween.
I'd also like to hold a short membership committee meeting afterwards as well. Yep. Okay, here we go. Okay, after the closing song, we invite everyone to stay in person for coffee hour. And also, the Board of Trustees is asking all committee members to stick around for our first Committee Sunday meeting. Thank you for joining us. And we will do our closing song.